Oh man, that is naughty. That is totally naughty, that drone, man. I love this. Seriously, man. I absolutely love it. Walksnail, please don't let me down and knacker anything up, you know what I mean? Because this is friggin' amazing.
Wow, I look like shite. I've been up now. I must have got 6 hours sleep in 3-4 days doing this and recording and everything. Anyway, enough about me. Let me just introduce this geezer called Muddy, yeah? And that's where I'm getting the beats from. They're free beats and they're absolutely banging. So while we're on that subject, let's have a look at the image quality and bring some beats in. And stop looking at my frigging cooker. I know it's crap. Cue the bass. So these are recorded with a screen recorder at 1080p. So the first one is, as you see, the highest bitrate, 1080p. Look at the grass, look at the saturation. I definitely can't see any smudges, I know that for sure. 720p. You fucking twat. You're nearly 50, you absolute ponce. Anyway, 720p, 25 megabits per second. Look at the grass again, look at everything, it's still nice. Probably a bit oversaturated there. Okay, now for the one you've been waiting for, 540. So straight away, now I don't know if I've got the dynamic range right on it, but you can see a lot of noise on it. But it's, you know, it's getting towards the analog scale, you know what I mean? So, wide dynamic range is on auto. I tell you what, that soft mounted Cadex, like, well, it looks like a Cadex baby with tail too, but that soft mounted situation makes it really, really nice and smooth. Or it's just my amazing tuning. I doubt it. So here's your first tip that will save your ass. I told you I was going to give you some tips. Here's the first one. When we're taking apart anything, right? Say we've got 4 wires. Let's say it's just a UART, yeah? So red, black, and your 2 signal wires. It's a 35 volt, 470 microfarad capacitor. When we plug our battery in, yeah, make sure earth. Now you can always tell which side the earth's on because it's got the stripe on it. Okay, this doesn't go down the side, but you can tell because it's got the stripe on the top. So this is earth. Now look, always look on there. This simulates connecting your battery or electromagnetic noise or feedback from a motor. So we're all familiar with that noise, especially from a 6S. Now, depending on the breakdown of the circuit, yeah, how long it takes to decay, how long it takes to lose its voltage. Capacitors can store voltage for a long, long time. And what this means is that our circuit is still live. It's still got 35 volts going through it. Watch. That's your ESC flight controller just gone bang when you cut the wires all the same time. Cut the wires singularly. So I'm going to run you through every setting that you need on your flight controller. So see the arrow at the top? 4.4.2 is now on our flight controller. Okay, the first thing we have to do
Well, I showed you in the first video how to put the degrees, so make sure the flight controller is facing the right orientation, or the gyro is facing the right orientation. And on this board it is plus 45 degrees. Reboot and straight into the UARTs tab. Now UART 3 is MSP, and that is set for our DJI port as default. So what we're going to need to do, we're going to be using MSP protocol for the HD, and we're going to want to change it and put it on UART 2. And then we're going to want to put VTX MSP display port. Now it's up to you. It says put UART 6 to ESC telemetry. I don't bother, I don't need it. And save and reboot. Now this is the part I showed you in part 1, getting the orientation. Part 1 at the end of it. So I've turned it 45 degrees, yeah, plus. Now the configurations tab, and we are going to rip through this, and everyone wake up, because this beat by Pendo 46 is badass. See okay, we've got our board orientation. Let's go to the configurations tab and put it in. Board orientation 45 degrees on the yaw axis, because we turned it 45 on the yaw. Reboot. Settings, check the board, back, forward, yes, it's all okay. So that arrow will be off center 45 degrees now, and whatever way you turned it, that's what you put in. Configurations again. Okay, next thing, arming angle 180 degrees. We want to be able to put it on the ground and arm it at any angle we want. Right, let's go through this, have a look. Right, LED strip, I'm not using it, turn it off. Okay, air mode, I use this on a switch, I don't want it on all the time, turn it off. Keep OSD on. Okay, look in here, RX lost, yes we want that, and RX set. Turn the beep to 3 or 2 depending. Go down here, GPS, don't need that. Another GPS, where is it? Where's it gone? Arming beep, right, arming GPS, so basically it beeps and tells how many satellites it's got. Save, reboot on the configurations tab. Okay, air mode has now gone to a modes in the mode. You have to do it with a switch. Okay, reboot. Everything, make sure everything's taken effect. Okay, craft name. So, name of the drone. Best drone. Pilot name.
can guess what that's going to be. Ask the Addict. Yay! Okay, so this is what's going. You can't put spaces in. This is what's going to come up on your OSD, and also when you save your configurations. Okay, so let's look down here again. Make sure we haven't missed nothing. No. Save and reboot. Right, next thing. Okay, motors tab. Right, disabled, it's saying. We want Dshot 600. It's an F7 board, so it can take Dshot 600, which is twice as fast as digital shot 300.
So, what is Dshot? Okay, right, so Dshot is digital. It's pulse width modulation, PWM. Now let's say we ran into the hospital, yeah, and grabbed one of their oscilloscopes, you know, the beep, beep, beep. So just ripped it off some geezer on a heart monitor, right? Probably be me next week, talking this fast. But anyway, and brought it home. Let's say we wired it up to our flight controller, right? Anyway, and the signal wires going to the ESC, yeah? And PPM, right, is translated to PWM, so pulse width modulation would go down these wires, and we would see it going like boxes, right, going on off, on off, on off, on off, right? The higher the box, the more the voltage. The longer the box, the more duty cycle, so the more on time and the more off time on the low side. So if you want to think of it as turning an LED on and off really quickly, so if you turn it off slowly, it would be high, low, high, low, high, low, right? And it would show on a graph high, low, high, low. If you did that really fast, right, it would go on, off, right? And the light would actually look like it was on permanently. Simple, right? Basically, we know Dshot is fast, yeah, and we can speed it right up, and we can send Dshot 300, or we can double the speed, yeah, and send Dshot 600, and that's sent from the flight controller to the ESC is sending a PWM signal, okay, which is then sent to the ESC. Then the motor's electromagnetic feedback comes back. ESC sends the signal back up the same wire. And that's the end of the video. I'm not going to go into the whole ins and outs of pulse width modulation, trailing edges, leading edges, all this kind of stuff, sawtooth, blah 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 blah, and then sampling, analog waveforms, sinusoidal waveforms, and all this crap. Anyway, listen, I am absolutely shattered. I haven't flown a drone properly in 3-4 days. I just want to fly, so I'm leaving this video as it is, and we'll get back to it later. Alright, take care. RC Addicts.